In this video, we're going to review some key concepts related to languages for specific purposes, LSPs for short. The overall objective of the module is to offer a working definition of LSP to clarify the concept and help you determine what to teach in your LSP classes. Throughout the course, we'll be using many examples that relate to English for specific purposes, ESP, but please bear in mind that there is a growing body of work in languages other than English within the field of LSP. So our objective is really to cater for the needs of all LSP teachers, whatever language they teach. First, when we talk about LSP, it's often considered in contrast with what has been termed language for general purposes, or even language for no obvious purpose, which echoes the provocative concept of tenor teaching English for no obvious reason. The question here is, don't we always use a language for a specific purpose? Other questions quickly come to mind when you think about LSP. How can a language fulfill specific purposes? Is that to say that the language to be used has to be specific? If so, in what way? Is it simply a matter of terminology, that is to say, specialized vocabulary? It seems important to first acknowledge that the widespread idea related to LSP is that what is specific in LSP is vocabulary only. So it's not surprising to see so many novice LSP teachers who plan their lessons as a series of vocabulary building exercises. This, of course, is a misconception, or at the very least, an oversimplified or very limited view of what LSP really is. But why is this? Historically, it's important to remember that earlier views of LSP curriculum were based on linguistic features in terms of structure and lexis, which is probably where the misconception comes from in the first place. The LSP curriculum then moved towards a discourse perspective, that is to say, taking on a usage-based perspective in line with a communicative approach and looking at rhetorical structures and functions. Finally, later views on the LSP curriculum moved from discourse to genre, that is to say, giving priority to language as it is used in different types of texts or communicative events which are considered as specific to the academic or professional field of the learner. Examples of these include conference presentations, research articles, or medical consultations. LSP is often considered either as a theory-driven approach in the field of linguistics or as a practice-driven approach in the field of language education or applied linguistics and didactics. In the field of linguistics, LSP is often considered from a discourse or genre analysis approach. This is especially true in the case of English for specific purposes, defined as a variety of English that can be observed in a given perimeter of society delineated by professional or disciplinary boundaries. This means that from a linguistics perspective, LSP often refers to the study of specialized varieties of a language which exist independently from their teaching and learning. LSPs are objects of knowledge in their own right. This is clearly a more theory-driven approach to LSP, grounded in the field of linguistics. In contrast, another tradition has developed with a more practical orientation in the fields of language education, applied linguistics, and didactics. In this view, LSP is neither a product nor a particular type of language or methodology. It's an approach to language learning which is based on learner needs and which should answer a simple question: why does this learner need to learn a foreign language? In other words, LSP teaching has to meet learner needs, which means that it has to be related in content to particular disciplines, occupations, and activities, and that it has to be centered on the language appropriate to those activities in syntax, lexis, discourse, and semantics. So, to sum up, the concept of LSP covers the language, discourse, and culture of professional communities and specialized social groups, as well as the learning and teaching of this subject from a didactic perspective.